Hello, I'm Jared.
And I'm Ebony, and this is his
And hers.
Warhammer 40K.
Yay.
Hi.
We got back from PAX Unplugged 2023,
PAX.
and we have a small haul that we wanted to show off.
Yeah.
Just sort of talk about our experience, 40K adjacent, I'd say.
There was 40K happening.
There was. We got to see some models,
Yeah.
talk to some folks. You got some paints.
I got some brushes at the Games Workshop.
Paints and paint accessories.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple of expansions and other games, and just kind of talk about
what PAX was like.
What PAX was like, yeah.
It was
So,
fun.
so we're local to PAX Unplugged, so it's always nice for us
Yeah.
to just kind of hop over for the day, no worry about hotels or
Yeah.
anything like that.
And we go for all 3 days usually. Yeah, so this was nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's some talk of they're slowly reaching a limit, people feel. And so they should at least probably change where their entrance is going to be. I know there was a lot of trouble with those like dual entrances and everyone getting bottlenecked there.
Yeah, they usually pick an entrance every day, and it shifts every day.
Well, it's not supposed to shift every day. Like, that is not
The plan?
by design.
Oh, okay. I thought that was on purpose, but yeah, and so it does. You do get a little bit of a line, especially if you show up early. I know you and some of our friends are morning people. I like to show up at like 11, so I never get a line.
See, that wouldn't be a problem if it were like Gen Con, where the con didn't close for the full 3 days.
Yeah.
PAX shuts down at midnight.
Yeah, the game library closes at midnight.
Yeah, which is annoying. They basically kick everyone out.
Yeah, but open gaming and the game library is our favorite part. At least is my favorite part.
I prefer First Look. This year it was real tough to get anywhere close to First Look, though.
Yeah, First Look was very hot. We didn't get to see a lot of things. I glanced some things that I was interested in, like the Rats of Wistar and Apiary, but didn't get close to trying those things at all. Our friends picked up a copy of Apiary, so we'll get to play it.
Yep.
And see what it's like. But it was really the hot buzz.
Yeah, so we've got sort of a split list of the things that we picked up and things that our friends picked up that we'll get to play eventually.
Yeah.
To start us off, we always, I call it our PAX pilgrimage. Any PAX that we go to, we find Treasured Realm, who sells, I'm not sure if it's actually coming through clearly with the lighting. There you go. Yep.
They sell coffee and tea with sort of a tabletop theme. And so they make these unique blends of coffees and teas. And we haven't even opened this box, but I bet there's specialty cards and dice in there because they give you little gifts.
Last year at Unplugged, Treasured Realm saved my life Saturday morning. So I am indebted to them whenever I see them. I will get a bag of it. It's very good coffee.
And the coffee's delicious. We love it. Yeah. And we picked up an expansion for a game that we talked about because we picked it up at PAX last year.
Nope, not an expansion. 2 expansions.
2 expansions.
Of the 3 expansions that they have, we picked up Moonraker's Overload and Moonraker's Nomad, which are the 2 recommended to be played together. I don't recall what the third one is, but it's sort of designed that you can do Overload with the other one, either Nomad or this.
And we really like Moonrakers. I mean, I picked it up last year, the base game, because I loved the artwork, and I love all the artwork from IB Studios. But it's sort of a card drafting...
It's a deck builder.
Semi-cooperative deck building game.
It's a space genre deck builder. And to be honest, when we played it 3-player, I didn't love it.
Yeah, but then we played it 4-player a couple times, and it's great.
Yeah, this is definitely a game. Like, the box says 1 to 5.
Yeah.
For me, this is a 4 to 5 player game. I probably wouldn't recommend it less than that.
Yeah, because you want to have a lot of interactions with other players, and 3 players doesn't quite hit that. But 4 players is pretty perfect, and we haven't tried it yet with 5, so we'll see how that goes.
Now, the other game that Ivy Studios made
that we bought last year
was Veiled Fate. And something that I found out about later as part of the Veiled Fate Kickstarter came with an art book and a lore book, sort of rolled up into one. I'm a big fan of lore in board games, especially if there is sort of a fantasy element to it. I want to know the backstory. I want to know how it all sort of fits together. And the characters and the designs of Veiled Fate are so gorgeous and so cool that I was like, I needed to know more about that. So I picked up the Veiled Fate art book and lore book.
It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. And it's got really, really interesting writing. I believe they teamed up with Jackalope Games, or no, I'm sorry, Quackalope Games, which is another review channel. I do watch them a fair bit, to put this together. Sadly, there's this weird sort of ink speckling on all of the pages. It doesn't look intentional. It's just a very minor thing I noticed. I hope that's not on all of their printings for it.
Yeah, but the art's great, and the writing is great, and the book feels great. It's very cool.
Very cool design.
And we enjoy Veiled Fate a lot. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Between Moonrakers and Veiled Fate, I prefer Veiled Fate.
Yeah, I like that it scales really well. That
It does.
You can play 11 people in Veiled Fate.
Yep.
And it's designed for that, so that's great.
Before I introduce our next pickup, I have to give a little bit of a story of what happened on our Saturday at PAX.
Yeah.
So a friend of ours was wandering around and found the Puzzle HQ at PAX, just like an area to do puzzles and escape rooms and that kind of stuff. And they were selling a $15 pack in a manila envelope of kind of like newspaper puzzles. But really difficult ones.
They were really hard.
And we came back and we started to go through them, and even the instructions on most of these puzzles,
part of the puzzle.
You weren't sure what you were even supposed to do on a lot of them. And our group of about 6 people got obsessed with completing
We spent a lot of time. We stayed up really late a lot of nights.
We spent hours at the con working on them. We spent hours when we got home that night working on them, just trying to get through these. And Sunday morning, we were able to complete all of them. Or at least, we were able to complete them enough to get the final sort of keyword that if you bring back to the Puzzle HQ, provide the keyword, there was a prize associated with it. Turns out the prize was a raffle ticket that if you go to a particular booth Sunday at 5 o'clock, you'd be part of a raffle. Now, I didn't realize at the time, but there were 2 different raffle drawings.
First place
and you were
was
entered in one.
special edition Ticket to Ride, right?
Well, it wasn't special edition Ticket to Ride. It was Ticket to Ride Legacy, which is a new release.
Okay.
And in fact, our Steph and Ian picked up Ticket to Ride Legacy, so we'll probably be playing that at some point.
Those are our legacy friends,
Instead, we won the second raffle.
Surprise!
That consisted of, it was
a lot.
A game called The Shivers.
Which I wanted to pick up at PAX last
plus 2
year.
of its expansions.
But I didn't. Yeah. So it's kind of a pop-up adventure game with sort of a tabletop mystery, but kind of like those cards that you get where you open them and things pop up. So you get this sort of physicality of the space that you're adventuring in. So I'm really excited to be able to play this with our friends. The Shivers.
Yeah, that should be exciting.
Yeah.
We also, as part of that same raffle, won Jiraku, which is not a game I have heard of nor really know anything about, just sort of reading the back of the box. Jiraku is a trick-taking area control game. Out with your opponents with tactical card play. Use your loyal samurai to bid control of areas and build prestige. Not generally the type of game that Ebony likes, but we'll give it a try anyway, either together or with some of our friends.
Yeah. We also picked up a couple of small games that aren't here because they're on our table because we've been playing them since we got them. We picked up a game called Trio, which is a quick card game that's super
I
fun.
forgot to bring Trio down.
Yeah. And a game called Tiger versus Dragon from Oink Games, which makes really cool small
Tiger
games.
and Dragon.
Tiger and Dragon.
I think.
Which is another trick-taking game, but kind of with mahjong-like tiles. And it's really cute.
It's funny to say it is the largest Oink game. Oink Game is famous for their really, really tiny games, each one about the size of a cell phone.
Yeah, this is pretty large for them, I guess.
Yeah.
So those are fun, and we've been playing them. We also played a couple of small games, and some of our friends picked up a couple of small games.
Yes, so our friends picked up Fiction, I believe, which is very much like competitive Wordle, if one person knows the word
And is lying actively.
but can change one of the clues that are provided.
Yeah.
You know, everyone knows Wordle. A letter is either correct, incorrect, or in the wrong spot. Well, every guess, one of those clues can be wrong. So that was fun to try out.
Yeah.
They also picked up Mindspace,
which is
which
great.
is a Tetronimo, Tetramino, whatever Tetris blocks are called. Type game, roll and write, in which you have to sort of fill in a square space.
That represents the brain, but it's just squares. Really. Yeah.
I'm not normally a fan of roll and writes, especially ones that are very symbol heavy. This one works off of, I think, 6 or 7 different colors, and it makes it much easier for me to kind of process.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it.
They also picked up Emerge,
which we played and really liked.
Yes, and I think Emerge was in First Look.
I believe so, yeah.
Excellent game. I was very impressed by it.
Very cute. I love the little tiny animal meeples.
Yeah, it's got very cute models, a very clean game mechanic in which you're rolling dice. There's some basic dice manipulation, but also the ability to change how many times you can trigger an ability by those dice. Enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
What else did we try?
We also played other things. That we played Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
Between Two Palaces of Mad King Ludwig.
Between Two Palaces.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, there's 2 other games, Between Two Cities and Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I really like both of those games, and they're very separate games.
Okay.
Between Two Cities is a very quick game that has the same mechanic, but with simpler pieces.
Okay.
And Castles of Mad King Ludwig is Suburbia, but with fancier pieces, with the more complicated connections. Yeah. Between Two Palaces of Mad King Ludwig combines those 2 systems together, in which you are building palaces between 2 players, but each palace has multiple different scoring methods that can grow quite complex. I don't think it works as well.
I thought it was pretty cute.
The game itself is very nice until you get to the scoring at the end.
The scoring's really terrible.
This is a rough scoring.
Yeah, and our copy from the library, like the score sheet was out of it, and it's almost impossible to score it without the score sheet. You've got, it's one of those games where there are 18 different ways to score points and values, and they have multipliers, and we were just like, yep, this game is over. We're not doing this math. Yeah, we
sort of ran out of time at the end, and it was way too difficult to actually write out the scores for the finale. Sort of the one detriment against that. Would make for a great digital transition.
Yeah, and we played Phantom Inc., which we saw for the first time at PAX East last year. And we didn't get to play it except like at the booth with the people, but we got a group of 6 or 7 of us and we sat down and played it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
I like a mystery psychic themed game.
I would say with Phantom Inc., as enjoyable as it was, some of the cards that
are ridiculous.
Are ridiculous. Like to the point that no one would ever play them. For any
but you have the cards that are in your hand. You must ask them.
But you have
the discard action.
You draw enough cards, I'd say, that you never have to play a ridiculous one.
Yeah, some of them.
So that was a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think this was in First Look, but I can't recall. We played Art Project. Art Project is sort of a co-op pandemic style game in which you are a team of, I guess, spies trying to stop art thieves from stealing art around the country. And it has a neat system of keeping information secret in order to stop the alpha player problem. I don't think it pulls it off perfectly, but it does it enough that I'd say everyone has to be at least somewhat invested in it.
And you got to be paying attention, all of you. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. And I appreciate that, we played a map of, I think, Japan. But there are different cities and different places that you can be stopping art. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute.
Yep. We also tried out, I believe this was an older game that was a Kickstarter a while back, the Snallygaster Situation.
Oh, I really liked it.
It's basically...
kind of Stranger Things.
It's Stranger Things.
It's like
as a board game.
Teens on Adventures.
Which, as from what I recall, there's about 6 or 7 of those that have sort of fit the genre.
Yeah.
Stranger Things has sort of made. It's obviously not a new theme. It's something that's been around, but it's made people very open to that idea of a theme.
It reminded me a lot of like The Initiative, but with a little less nuance. There's really a
no. I would.
No?
I don't compare. Like, other than the fact that your kids running around like dealing with a mystery, I don't think there's anything the same about them.
I don't know. I got the same vibes.
There's no secrets involved in the
There are no
Snallygaster.
real secrets. Yeah.
The mechanics are way more complicated than the Initiative.
I don't know that I agree with that. I didn't think the mechanics
You
were
weren't
complicated.
playing the one in the Upside Down.
That's true. You were strapped in the Upside Down, and you had to be yourself and the monster.
Yeah, there's a lot more that was
On
going
my
on
end,
that
it
I
was
was
like,
handling.
go find that thing, and I found it.
The other players have a much easier time about that.
I would play the other scenarios in the box. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Other than that, I bought a lot of paint supplies.
Yeah. What paint supplies did you get, and what are you working on?
I went to the Game Envy booth, and I got a new water cup, and my water cup came with, or I bought a brush cleaner that sits in the bottom of your water cup, so it's great, because I always find myself destroying my brushes and not getting them really clean, so I'm excited about that. I got a tiny dry palette because I've been on the hunt for a dry palette. Yeah, it's cute. It's full of like little tiny art. It says Game Envy on it. And it's just instead of a paper towel for my dry brushing, I can use this dry palette. I've obviously been using it. I got a couple sets of brushes from Game Envy as well. I like their stuff. And then we went to my favorite booth, which is Turbo Dork, and I bought about 5 or 6 new paints from Turbo Dork. And they make really cool metallics and really cool like shifting colors. So I've used some of their paint to paint Alpha Legion for Jared. Right now I'm working on some Primaris Space Marine Lieutenants for my homebrew chapter. So I'll be doing some painting.
They are Vanguard,
yeah. And so that's fun. I've been doing a lot of painting, buying a lot of painting supplies.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot.
What?
Saturday, for the past year...
I didn't think you forgot. I just thought you weren't there yet.
For the past year, our game group has been playing through Oathsworn, which was this big Kickstarter about a year and a half ago, and recently had its 2nd edition Kickstarter, in which there's a story element that usually lasts about an hour, and then a big boss battle with lots of miniatures and terrain and such that lasts about 2 hours.
Yeah.
We completed the campaign, all 21 chapters of it.
Yep.
With the final battle, we decided to get a table and play it out live at PAX Unplugged.
And that was great.
It
Lots
was
of people came
fantastic.
over and visited us.
Yeah.
We worked really hard to get all the models painted up so that like our sort of characters are painted up and all of the bad guys were painted up, all the minions on the table were painted up, and we brought some of the big bosses with us and sort of spread out in a big table place, and we got lots of visitors who
Ebony
stopped
did
by.
a wonderful job painting up quite a few of the bosses. We're not entirely done painting everything, but anything that we used for the final battle was painted up. Plus a couple of the more memorable bosses.
Yeah, and our friends did a lot of the terrain. They did their own characters, and everything looked really beautiful on the table. So we're really excited about that. And it took us about 4 hours. It took us a long time
to do the final fight.
Yeah. We were at it for a long time, so we got a lot of visitors. We had a lot of fun, and then we transitioned rapidly to solving that puzzle.
Yes. Yeah, we cleaned everything up. We put the games away after coming back from lunch. And then our friend had already picked up that puzzle pack, and that's what we were working on for a while afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was fun. We're looking forward to PAX 2024.
Definitely.
Yeah, and having some thoughts about PAX East 2024.
We'll see.
Yeah. So it was fun. That was our PAX haul. And if you went to PAX, we hope you had a good PAX.
And in the meantime, we are finishing up the End in the Death Part 2.
That's right.
That we should have a discussion about coming up.
And by the time you see this video, you might have heard some of our readings from the End in the Death Part 2.
Yes. Ebony, you are recording a couple of them?
Yeah. Yes. So I'm excited for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
Bye.
Bye.